Today I will talk about hidden gems. I'm a sucker for that subject. Whenever I see on a video hidden gems, fragrances that nobody has ever heard of, I want to watch that. And a lot of times it's a disappointment because guess what? They're not that gems and not that hidden. And I mean, okay. Well, this video is not going to be that. This video is actually going to be about hidden gems. You'll see.
Shiver me timbers!
And you know what? I want to take it even further and have sort of a bet with you. My opinion is that most of you, of course there will be exceptions, most of you have not heard of the perfumes I'm going to talk about today. Let's see if that's true.
Oh, here we go again.
I'm gonna begin with a brand that I discovered at Texans, and it was one of the brands that I fell in love with there. And there were about 5, maybe 6 of this kind that I got to explore properly, and I really enjoyed. And this one is called Pernoire. And the hidden gem fragrance is amoral or amoral. It basically means immoral. And yes, this fragrance kind of smells immoral. If I'm thinking about it, it kind of smells a little bit dirty in the best possible way. If I was to film a sexy fragrances video right now, I would for sure put amoral, amoral in that video. It deserves to be there. It's not your typical sweet gourmand type of fragrance, although there is vanilla in here, that you think, oh, this is sexy because it smells sweet and edible. It's not that. It's more elevated than that. This is a woman who's wearing a trench coat and nothing underneath. This is someone who's wearing black because they enjoy this non-color. This is someone who's mysterious, not because they're playing a role, but because that's their personality. And this is unisex, by the way. I know I said woman. I feel like this even leans a little bit masculine, but in such a way that it's so good on a woman. You know how sometimes a fragrance that leans a little bit masculine because it's dark, it just smells amazing on a woman. In terms of how it actually smells, this is a combination of vanilla, but it's not a sweet vanilla, with some iris, so it's a powdery vanilla with resins and oud. So it gives it this like a little bit of a smokiness, a little bit of an edge to it. After I got to wear this next fragrance, it became my favorite amber. And that says a lot. I have a lot of perfumes, as you can tell. I've tried a lot of perfumes. But this is amazing. Is it for everyone? Is it a safe blind buy? No. And same goes for the first one as well. It's not a fragrance that everyone will enjoy. It's not something that is super mass appealing. And I'm talking about Rania J, that's the name of the brand, and the fragrance is Ambre Loup. I've been wanting to sample from this brand for such a long time. I kept hearing about them and I was going to ask, because you can ask from Lucky Scent whenever you purchase something. I was going to ask for some samples. They send these tiny little samples, but you know, it's enough to basically figure out if you like something or not. When I first wore this fragrance, I wrote down, this is the mother and the father of amber. And I made myself try to guess the notes, which didn't go too well, because I said plum and I said smoky and I said oud and I said spices, and I mean I was kind of right about those, and I think I said vanilla, but there's no plum in here. Okay, there is clove in here and there's vanilla and there's oud, but there is no plum. And on my skin I get this dark fruitiness. I get like the same type of plum that is in Plum Japonais, and you know how much I love that fragrance. I'm not saying that this is similar to that, but just that plum, I get that plum. I don't know, it's probably the vanilla and the combination of vanilla with other elements in there, but this smells amazing. If you want a fragrance that is truly complex, deep, dark, seductive, again, it's not something that everyone will enjoy. It's something that is truly niche. It smells niche. It smells unique. And this is not blind buy material. And it's the same for the first one as well. These are not mass appealing. These are not for everyone. Unless you know your taste, your style, your fragrances really well, you've been into niche perfumes for a while, then okay, but otherwise, no. I'm stepping into a more gourmand area. I know many of you love that, and I do too. And I did mention this fragrance one more time in another video, and I truly believe in it. And this one I bought myself, and this is Safran Gourmand. The brand is called Place de Lys. And this fragrance, like I did say before, it is quite similar to Italica. Now, this is not a dupe. This doesn't have the price of a dupe, okay? This has the quality of a niche fragrance because it is a niche fragrance. It smells like almonds, like whipped cream, vanilla, and a little bit of saffron. It's really delicious. It smells like a homemade cake. The next one is very affordable. And by very affordable, I mean under $40. By the way, I'll post the links for everything I'm talking about today. And when I first tried it, and when I first got to wear it, I was so surprised by the qualities of this fragrance. Okay, let me show it to you. So the name is Rose Couture, and the name of the brand is Khadlaj. If I was to compare it to something, it would be Delina La Rosée, but not dupe level. I don't think this is 100% Delina La Rosée. But when I first tried it, besides the fact that I was, you know, quite surprised with it, with the quality, with the smell, everything was like, okay, this is really nice. It kind of struck me as smelling very intimate. I did post a short where I kind of expressed myself in a way that needed a beep and a cat over my mouth, if you know what I mean. So it smells in that way, but in the best possible way. It smells like a very sensual woman. Okay? And in case that's not very clear, it's a positive thing. The next and last hidden gem of this video comes from Zara, and it has been recently launched in their vanilla collection. And this is Starlight Vanilla. Now, it struck me how similar this is to Myrrh and Tonka from Jo Malone. Very similar. Okay, there are differences. Of course there are differences. It doesn't have the same depth. It doesn't have the same quality, you know, in terms of smell and in terms of course, the longevity is not the same and all, but the general vibe, the smell, if you don't go into too much detail, if you're not being too critical, it's there. So this was one of my favorites. So they launched 4 fragrances in this new vanilla collection that is meant obviously for fall and winter. If you want me to talk about that, I have all of them. I've been testing them. I still have to fully wear all of them, and I will do it probably this week, if I can, hopefully, so I can film a video about that. Just let me know if you want me to talk about that. I would say overall that collection deserves a little bit of attention. If you're into vanilla, if you don't necessarily like only that like cookie vanilla style, because these are more like aromatic vanillas, green vanillas. This is more like a lavender, ambery vanilla. You know, so not overly sweet, not overly cookie style, girly style. This is more of a unisex. I hope you enjoyed my video. I wish you a wonderful Sunday. Kisses, and see you next week.